source of the violence? The neighboring civil war in Syria. Turkey struggling to stem the flow of ISIS fighters. More than 200 people with suspected links to ISIS were arrested in the week leading up to the attack, which shows just how entrenched the terrorist organization is perceived to be inside Turkey, because despite that crackdown, a suicide bomber was able to make it here the heart of Istanbul's tourism district. Within 24 hours of the attack, police detained 68 more with alleged links to ISIS, including 3 Russians. As for the bomber, Turkish officials say he registered as a refugee.
One
person was detained last night in relation to the attack through the investigations. The examination and investigation continues in multiple ways and in a very serious manner.
Tragically, Istanbul now joins other cities targeted by terrorists, including Paris. More of the world's residents and leaders trying to do the impossible, make sense out of a senseless act. And Robin, the real work for Turkish officials now is to try to ensure that something like this doesn't happen again. They say that they have 36,000 individuals on a terrorist watch list here in the country, but despite that, this person who committed this attack, we are told, wasn't on any radar of any intelligence agency. One Turkish official told us that to stop this, you have to go and look at ISIS in Syria. He said as long as ISIS is able to operate and have training grounds in Syria, attacks like this will continue to happen not only here in Turkey, but around the world. He was suggesting that the international community do something to create an ISIS-free zone. Will world leaders listen? That is to be seen. Robin.
Okay. Ian Lee in Istanbul, thanks so much. Well, in Mexico, authorities are taking no chances. The drug kingpin known as El Chapo will escape from prison again. Well, let's go right to our Nick Valencia near the Mexican prison where El Chapo is being held for details on what they're doing. I hear, based on past experience, they might have learned from their mistakes. Tell us about his movements.
A senior law enforcement official here in Mexico telling me, Robin, that El Chapo is being moved from cell to cell so that he doesn't escape a second time from the Altiplano Penitentiary. Of course, this is said to be the most secure prison in all of Mexico, but that didn't seem to matter much to the most notorious drug trafficker. When he escaped last July, his associates burrowing about a mile-long tunnel that allowed him to escape. Previously, we were told by a separate law enforcement source that El Chapo was being heavily guarded, 24-hour surveillance for the drug kingpin. Robin?
Okay, so he's been moved from cell to cell based on the experience that previously he got quite cozy in his former cell and managed to allow time for people to tunnel him out of there. I understand you've been to that tunnel where he escaped from last time. What was it like?
That's right. Last year, our CNN crew was able to get inside that tunnel and go down. In fact, we were told we were the first American news crew to go down inside that tunnel. We decided to go back and check it out to see what had changed in the last 6 months. And we were able to get around a checkpoint and arrive to that home, that rural countryside home where Mexican authorities say that El Chapo is said to have emerged. There we were met with heavily armed federal police and other law enforcement agencies. Those agencies telling us that the hole had been covered up, though they didn't allow us to go inside to see for ourselves, so we could only take them at their word. It was about 5 minutes later when more federal police officers showed up, escorting us out of there, asking us to leave, but telling us that we were the first news agency, besides another Mexican network, to arrive at that tunnel since El Chapo's recapture. Robin?
Okay. And also with that in mind, his lawyers have been speaking out to you and also to a news agency and offering some conflicting reports on perhaps the tone of Sean Penn's article about El Chapo. I'm trying to choose my words safely here.
Well, certainly. A source tells us that overnight, actually, El Chapo's defense attorney filed a formal legal request to keep from his client being extradited. He has told our CNN crews in the past that he doesn't feel that his client should be extradited. He thinks that the Mexican justice system is more than capable of handling this case. And now we're hearing from him, Reuters reporting that the defense attorney for El Chapo is saying essentially calling Sean Penn's Rolling Stone article a matter of fiction, saying that there's no way his client would have admitted to being the world's most notorious drug trafficker, saying that it's absolutely false, untrue, essentially saying that Sean Penn was making things up in that article. We've not confirmed that for ourselves, but we are working to reach out to El Chapo's attorney to get that on the record from him. Robin?
Okay. Children and their teacher. A health worker says helicopters are evacuating the injured to a hospital. We'll continue to follow that story, monitor any new developments. In the meantime, we'll be right back after this short break. Stay with us.